Let's see. Hello, everybody. Whoever is on, I don't know if anyone's on just yet, so I'll give you guys another second while I update the title of this video. Hello, hi everyone. Hello. Hi, Shaneka. Hi, Yuji. Hi, Hawa. Oh, somebody new. Vaughn says, "Hello, how are you?" I'm doing good. I'm doing really good this afternoon. I was like, "What day is it? What time is it?" I'm doing good. I just thought I would come on for a little bit today, um, just to say hi to everyone, and just kind of chit chat a little bit about possibly the new challenge that it's looking like may be the new challenge coming up soon. Um, Hey Tamala. Hi Linda. Hi Jackie from London. She says, "Hi Michelle, how are you?" I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm only gonna probably be on for about 30 minutes today. Unless, something is like urgent. But yeah. Hey Nika. She says, "Hey gorgeous. Hey Boo, how are you?" I actually washed my hair yesterday. Don't mind the little bit of lint I got in it. I was laying on my pillow without a scarf on it, so I got a little bit of lint, but I'm not doing that again. Hi Tammy, hi Melissa. How's everyone doing? How did you guys like my protein video last week on aphagy? Do you guys have any questions regarding protein treatments? Just let me know. Just drop it in the chat. It's okay if you don't. I know some people were still like, "Oh, that was great. Like, it was good to see you do the protein treatment." Some people were still really hesitant to say, like, I would try the aphagy. And again, and I said it, like, if aphagy isn't for you, that's totally fine. I will be doing some other protein treatments like green beauties. I think someone else gave me another recommendation, like Botanica, somebody else. So I'm going to be trying out new protein treatments probably every 6 to 8 weeks. It just depends on, my routine and everything. So I will definitely be trying them and posting them for you guys so you guys can see me use them. Let's see. Hi, Gina. How are you? I'm doing good. Erica says, "Hi, Michelle. Looking lovely. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you." Melissa says, "Have you tried the one from Green Beauty?" I have in the past. I definitely ran out a while ago and I have not re-upped in quite some time. So I'm going to buy that and that will probably be the next one I do. Nika just says apogee was my staple for years. Yeah, it was like something that I used for years. It was maybe 8 to 10 years ago, before there was like other options like there are now. It was pretty much just apogee, outside like a pure protein treatment. So that was my staple as well for a long time. Secondly, you guys, if you guys don't have any other proteins, oh, Melissa said, "Did you like it?" Yeah, I like Green Beauty. I used it for quite some time. I just used it until I ran out. You just add that to a protein. You just add it to a conditioner. It kind of reminds me of like you doing your own DIY type protein treatment. How it says it'll be interesting. I'll be interested in your review about Green Beauties. Sure, I will definitely be doing that. Tamma says, "How often do you use it? Is it a good idea to use before and after protective styles?" So I do protein treatments. So I should say this. I alternate between a hardcore protein treatment and a strengthening treatment. Now, I will admit it's probably been about 4 months since I did a full-blown protein treatment, but I do strengthening hair masks, which contain protein in it. It's the one that I have, my oat and aloe strengthening hair mask. I use that every like 6 weeks. So I was kind of using that as my like protein treatment, and then alternating that every 3 weeks between like, so 3 weeks I would use henna, and then 3 weeks from that I would use a strengthening treatment, and then 3 weeks later I use a henna. 3 months later I would do a strengthening treatment. So it actually had been about 4 months since I did like a hardcore protein like pure treatment like apogee. So um, I think that it's good to use either a strengthening treatment or products that are formulated as a strengthening or like a protein conditioner, right? That's kind of what my strengthening hair mask is. It's a protein conditioner. Basically, you get some of the strengthening properties and you get some conditioning properties so your hair doesn't like dry out in the process. Um, So I highly recommend doing protein treatments every 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know how long you're leaving your protective styles in. Also, my question is, are you moisturizing your hair? Like when you take out your protein, when you take out your protective style, how is your hair feeling? Like, is your hair feeling dehydrated? How are you moisturizing it while it's in protective styles? Like, I feel like all of that is really important rather than just saying like as soon as you put it in, use one, and as soon as you take it out, use one. It can be beneficial, but I usually when most people are in protective styles, they don't care for their hair as well as I like to see it. In this instance, I'm saying a lot of people who do protective styles don't deep condition their hair. Um, they don't really cleanse their scalp that well. So I feel like maybe before you do your protective style, you can make sure you have enough protein, enough moisture. And then afterwards, I'm more focused on making sure your scalp gets clean, your hair gets re-moisturized, rehydrated, and all of those things before you add a protein treatment to it. Um, Melissa says, I found it easier to use than Aflogy. Yeah, it's definitely easier to use. You just add some to your conditioner. It's very, very simple to use. Aflogy is, I would say, one of the hardest hardcore protein treatments. Um, it is very, very like I wouldn't, maybe I would use, if I were to use Aflogy, I would use it maybe every 8 to 9 to 10 weeks. Depends on what else you're doing in your regimen. Like some of my products also contain protein, so it's not like my hair was like suffering from, like weakness and breakage and all these other things. Like some people don't use any type of protein in any other regimen. And so like they may need it more than not, right? Also, it depends on the thickness of your individual strands, right? So people who have coarser strands, yeah, don't need as much protein as someone like me who has fine strands, right? I have really fine strands, and most of them, I can't say for sure, but most fine strands do lack a medulla. And so that's the inner cortex. So our hair is weaker and more prone to breakage. So if for that case, I feel like it's so important to use products that have proteins more often than not. But you're really gonna have to listen to your hair and make sure you get enough moisture balance. Hey Kels, how are you? Regina says, "Good afternoon, beauties. Michelle, can you advise me of some amla that can be ingested?" You can take amla like from the Indian grocery. They have amla like the actual berry, the gooseberry. You can drink that. You can squeeze that. You can eat the amla fruit. If you're looking for the powder form, I have it in my Amazon store. The organic amla powder. Actually, I have one over here. Give me a second. So I'm always about organic stuff. So this is the one that I'm using. I get the 2 pound one. It's organic. You can add it to smoothies, yogurt, hair, skin. This is really, really good. But also, again, you could use amla juice or the actual berry. You can use that and eat that. Um, okay. Oh, Jenelise. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says I mixed 7 herbs for a powerhouse tea to use every day, once a day. Do you think that's too much? I don't think, I don't know. I could say it depends on what herbs you're using. If you share what herbs you're using, it might help me be able to understand because like I say this all the time in my chats, like, we want to use herbs with intention. So if you have too many strengthening herbs, yes, using that every day could be too much. If you have a good balance of like strength and moisture and scalp and all that, it might be fine. But no matter what, I always tell people to really listen to your hair, really, really listen to your hair. It will tell you whether or not it's too much or not. Hey, Pamela. She's in the chat again. Pamela has a bomb page as well, Instagram page. She has beautiful hair. Her and your daughter. It's your daughter, right? I think, Pam. They both have 4C hair down to like their butt. It is beautiful, thick, amazing. Also an herbal user. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Definitely check her out on Instagram. Regina said, yes, thank you. You're so welcome. Oh, Nika and Pamela are giving each other boo loving. Hey. So, does anyone have any questions? We don't have to be on for very long. I did want to mention a little bit about the poll that I did. Hey, Robin, how are you? I did want to mention about the poll I did in my community tab. And if you haven't voted on that, please vote on it. I'm going to remind everyone on Tuesday to vote again. I'm not vote again, but if you haven't voted, to definitely vote. It looks like I have 687 people who have voted on the challenge. And it looks like right now it's going to be the protective style slash length retention challenge that is going to be our number one. Um, that's going to be our winner. That's what it looks like at this point. That's at 43% of people are really focused on that. We can, during that challenge, if that's the one that will be, and it looks like that's what it's going to end up being, I'll make sure to give you guys, just like last time, I'll make sure to give you guys a calendar, definitely tips about what we'll be doing. Everybody will have um, recommendations. And since rice water seems like a close second, I'll make sure I'll include some type of rice recipes and maybe even some aloe recipes. It will be a nice inclusive one. It just won't be solely focused on that, because we're really gonna focus on protective style and in a way to help us retain length. So that's what it's looking for. That's what it's heading for, it looks like. But again, make sure you vote if you haven't voted in my community tab on what our next challenge will be. Let's see. Oh, Pamela says, yes, my daughter. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. They have beautiful 4C hair. Oh, you guys, thick, gorgeous, and herbal lovers. So definitely check her out. Dara says, hey, Michelle and everyone. Hey, dear. If you have any questions, sis, let me know just down in the chat. We're just kind of talking about whatever you guys are, if you have questions about. In the beginning, I mentioned a little bit about protein treatments. If you saw my video on Tuesday, I don't know why I forgot. I only post once a week. I did the whole AphaG video. If you had any questions, I mentioned that I'll be doing protein treatment videos every about 6 to 8 weeks. It just depends on my schedule for you guys, so you guys can see the different types of protein treatments and how to use them. Nika says, is Slippery Elm in your Amazon store? It might be. I want to say yes, but let me look. Amazon influencer. Because I'm really picky about when it comes to slippery elm and when it comes to marshmallow root, because a lot of vendors like to mix sawdust into them. So I'm like really anal about like uh I'm looking. You know what? I don't actually have the actual bark. I have the bark powder in my Amazon store. Um I think the last time, and then maybe this is exactly why I have the powder in my Amazon store. I think the last time I purchased it, I got it from Mountain Rose Herbs, and that's probably why I didn't add it to my Amazon store. Um, so yeah, Nika, I probably didn't get it from Amazon last. It's in my other room. My slippery elm. Oh yeah, and my marshmallow root. I was just remembering. Yeah, my marshmallow root I did get from Amazon, but my slippery elm, I'm pretty sure I got that from Mountain Rose Herbs. Mountain Rose Herbs. Yeah. T. Will says, once I got my routine down packed for a good balance of strength and protein, I've not had the need to do a hard protein like AphaG. And I agree, T. Will, that not everybody may need to do something as hardcore as AphaG. Like, AphaG is really intensive, and I think, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I don't know if you were on, that I like to use it as kind of like a almost like a reset, because I have really fine strands and I like to try to stop breakage before it gets like bad. So if I notice that my hair is starting to have a little bit more breakage than I'm normally used to, I'll do it. But again, I I do strengthening hair mask treatments every, I guess, 6 weeks. So I don't necessarily need to do hardcore protein treatment that often, right? Because I have a balance of protein within my normal regimen. My leave-in spray also has a bit of protein in it, not enough for it to be considered a protein treatment. And most people who use the leave-in spray have no issues with that because the oat protein is like a larger protein, so it actually really helps to lock in moisture. So it's perfectly fine. The strengthening hair mask has more protein. It also has amino acids in it. Um, and also other oils that are really help to rebuild the hair strand from the inside out. So you're right. Some people that is enough for them, but with my fine strands, I find that occasionally I need more. And Apogee will do it for me. It will do it for me every single time. Someone was like, "Oh, I want to see what your hair looks like the following week." My hair is perfectly fine, perfectly moisturized. I don't have issues with Apogee. Again, I'm not using it excessively. I'm always deep conditioning after using it. So just I get it. Not everyone may need it, and there's also other options that I'm going to be using within the next, I should say, next coming months, because obviously I'm not about to do another protein treatment. Okay, so. Oh, so, okay. Jelly says, "Hi, Michelle. Bit late. Didn't get notification. Love watching you. Evening time in the UK. Well, welcome. Hey." She says, "I'm using Amla, Moringa, Henna, Fenugreek, Black Seed, Cumin, Breakage, Shadismansi. Those are awesome, awesome herbs. Are you using it together in like oh, wait, that's someone else. That's Jen Elise. Oh, you said, so you're using that as the tea. Amla, Moringa, Henna. Um, I will tell you that Breakage, Henna, Fenugreek, and sometimes Jadismanzi, not always, can be a bit strengthening for your hair. So just see how your hair responds. But Amla Moringa can be kind of conditioning, right? Can be conditioning, but see how your hair responds to that. If you need to, if you find your hair start to feel like a bit dry, try adding try getting a separate spray bottle with just like maybe aloe and amla, and then use that alternatively on the other days so that your hair doesn't get too strengthened from that. Nika says, okay, I'll get it from them and say, yeah, yeah. I'm just picky because if I haven't, I mean, I'm sure there's probably good vendors on Amazon. I'm just picky about where I get my herbs from sometimes, just because I've had bad batches, and you're like, oh, what a waste. Oh, Cal says, "I'm about to remind you that you got your slippery elm from Mountain Rose." Ah, thank you. See. Y'all be knowing. Y'all be knowing. um, Robin says, "I did the Indian Aztec clay mask 2 weeks ago. How long should I wait to do the Alpha G protein treatment?" Robin, when was your last protein treatment? Because the Aztec clay is more like a detoxifier. Um, but when was your last protein, or even if it's not a hardcore protein treatment, when was your last product that contained protein, like a strengthening hair mask or anything like that? When was that last? Okay. Brenda Bell says, "I use hydrolyzed collagen. What do you use for protein?" So I was saying, Brenda Bell, I don't know why I want to call you something else. This last week on Tip Tuesday, I did my Apogee treatment. And I said over the next couple months, I'm going to be trying out different ones just to show people how to use it. So I used Apogee. I'll be trying Green Beauties and Botanica's one. And anyone else, whoever suggested something, I'll definitely try that. But intermittently, you guys, I will still be using my strengthening hair mask. And that's why I said I'll be spacing them out according to my regimen and my schedule. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, T. Will. Robin says, "How often do you recommend a henna treatment?" So I recommend, depends on your schedule with how often you're doing protein treatments, but I recommend a henna every 3 to 4 weeks, and then space that out 3 weeks from your strengthening or protein treatment. So how I do mine is I'll do like every 3 weeks a henna treatment, every 3 weeks a strengthening hair mask, and alternate that every 3 weeks strength, every 3 weeks henna. So that's how I like to do it. It works really, really well for my hair. And if that's too much for you, try then once a month henna and then once a month strength. And you need to alternate. I can't stress enough that you really should be still doing protein treatments even if you are using henna, but just make sure you're spacing them out in between. Robin A says, "Did you say you use almond powder plus yogurt for a facial mask?" Yes, and I use it also in my hair. You can use that for like so many things. This is the amla I was showing earlier. You can use it. I use it in my smoothies. You can use it for your hair care, skin care. Great for skin care. It's so rich in vitamin C. It's really, really good for your skin. Um, yeah, so you can use it a number of ways. Okay. So Jelly says, I color my grays with henna. Just love that it's actually good for the hair as well. Yeah, it's so great for the hair. So I use it to cover my grays too. If y'all will notice, my right side, I have like a slightly like reddish streak. It's just my gray hairs that are dyed from red from the henna. So yeah. Robin A says, my hair is loving your oat and shampoo bar. Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I know I told you guys my sale ended August 14th, but technically my sale is still on. So if you didn't get some products, I'm leaving it on till Tuesday. I'm not necessarily going to tell everybody, but since y'all on and y'all always support me, I know some people were worried about not getting it in enough time, but the sale is still on. um, let's see. Oh, Robin says, I never did a protein mask. Oh, well, I would definitely do a protein mask then. You're okay to do it as long as you feel like your hair is moisturized enough, okay? Do you feel like your hair is having any type of breakage or any type of damage, or is your hair elasticity a little bit out of whack? I'm just curious. Because Robin, if you've never done one and your hair is doing fine, I would recommend probably starting with a strengthening hair mask first, just to see how your hair responds before just jumping into like Apogee. Oh, Jenny says, thank you again for the information. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Nora says, hey, everyone. Hey, Nora. She said, loving the earrings, Michelle. Thank you. I got these. I was out with my workout buddies. They visited me this week. So I got these at Nordstrom Rack. They were on sale for like $6. So thank you. Brenda Bell says, have you noticed the awful smell of neem? I added it to my clay mask yesterday since it's so detoxing for the scalp. I'm not adding it to my deep conditioner. Yes. So did you add neem oil or did you add neem powder? So neem oil stinks to high heaven. Like I actually cannot deal with neem oil because it's just neem powder is much more what's the word? Doesn't stink. Doesn't smell as half as bad as neem oil. So I like to use the powder form because I want those benefits, but I just don't want to be like, ew, ew. Sassy Rareby just said, hey sis, I caught that sale is still on. LOL, I arrived just in time, right? Talon says, I don't want to cover my gray. What can I use in place of henna treatment? So you can use cassia, Cassia. You can also use, now cassia though, you need to redo the treatment every 3 weeks because it wears off. Um, you can also use Ziziphus. I'm going to type it in the chat for you, okay? Cassia, Ziziphus, US. Also strengthening herbs like Brahmi and Bringraj, they can be pretty strengthening as well, but also really good for the scalp. Bringraj. So you can definitely try those. Nika says, welcome to is that Smoke Club? Yo, neem is terrible. The powder, that was my first time using it. I hate it. Oh, it was the powder. Oh, well, if you hate the powder, then sis, don't ever just get past the oil because the powder is bad. The powder is not bad. Like it has an odor, but the oil is like it's not it. The oil is not. I can't even do the oil like it's mm. Shaneka says, I thought henna is strength. Yes, henna is strength. Strength and protein are two different things, okay? Proteins can give you strength, but strength doesn't necessarily equate protein. Does that make sense? Um, so henna acts like a protein, right? Henna actually binds the keratins in your hair strand. but it is not a protein treatment. So henna, yes, which is why I say to alternate between the henna treatments and the protein treatments, space them out within like at least 3 to 4 weeks, because they act similar, right? Because protein will give you strength, but strength does not mean protein. So that is why I always recommend, even if you are using henna treatments, that you still need to be using protein treatments. If I said that right, henna treatments, yeah. Because let me tell you, I'm in this group on Facebook, and this one woman, she's been using henna exclusively for a couple of years, and she wasn't doing protein treatments, and her hair was becoming very limp, lifeless, and she kept saying like, "Oh my gosh," she went to a hairdresser and was like, "When was your last protein treatment?" She's like, "Oh, I've been using henna." And she could not stress enough that henna is not a protein. And I always say that, so I try to always stress that. So make sure you alternate between them, okay? Nora says, speaking of protein, do slippery elm and marshmallow root have a ton of protein? Want to avoid lots of protein due to my protein sensitive low porosity hair? No, Nora, they don't contain a lot of proteins. They contain minimal. I don't believe, and I have to double check, but I don't believe they're actually hydrolyzed. So that means that they're not small enough to actually penetrate into the hair strand to provide that like protein type strength that you're talking about. Robin says, my hair has no issues at all. I will consider a strengthening treatment as you suggested. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, Robin, I wouldn't switch too much. I think strengthening like protein, like a strengthening treatment is perfect just because sometimes it's very funny because my sister used to never do like a hardcore protein treatment or strengthening hair mask. And then one time she tried a strengthening hair mask and her curls just went crazy defined. Like crazy, like, and she was just like, oh my God. And it's just because her hair needed it and she just didn't know, right? It was just one of those things like she didn't have any she wasn't having severe breakage or anything. It just, our hair is made up of proteins and they weather over time, right? The sun drains it, everything drains it from your hair. So even if you're not experiencing at this exact moment extreme breakage, I like sometimes to do preventative measures by doing like the strengthening hair mask. The protein treatments, if I'm noticing like, okay, my hair is just not, it's not giving. It's not giving what it's supposed to have gave. Then I know, okay, let me go ahead and with something a little bit stronger. And if anyone who uses like Nika, if you're still in the chat, feel free to share how you know when it's time for you to do a full-blown protein treatment as well. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Jenelise, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. She says, how can I use coconut milk? You can use it as you can use it as a base of your like hair mask treatments. So like if sometimes if you're doing an herbal mask treatment, you want a little bit of conditioning properties, you can add coconut milk. You can make it part of your conditioning step. Yeah, that's how I've used it in the past. Brenda Bell says protein treatments is a must. Yes, yes. Okay. And Brenda Bell says, I add coconut when I'm deep conditioning. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good to use. Sandy Maxie says, I use henna to dye. What proteins do you recommend? I just got on. Oh, hey, Sandy. So I was just mentioning that this past week I actually did an Afro-G protein treatment, but I said that is a really, really strong protein treatment. If you're new to proteins, I always recommend something less strong. So like a strengthening hair mask. I sell a strengthening hair mask. I still actually have a sale going on 20% off. But I want to drop the video in the chat actually that I did about protein treatments, how to make your own DIY protein conditioner, and why it's necessary. And I really, really like, hold up, protein. And I really, really like the video that I'm about to drop, not just because I did it and my nephew's in it, but because it really helps to understand that there are levels to even proteins. To say like there are small proteins, there are medium sized proteins, and there are large proteins. Through my online store. Okay. Sorry, the ad is trying to play while I'm trying to talk. And so we go into detail in that video about the different types of proteins, why some might work better for yours than others, for your hair than others. We then we formulate a deep conditioner and show you how to add protein treatments to you, like to make a deep conditioner out of it or a strengthening hair mask out of it. So yeah, what was I saying with that? Oh, you said Sandy said, so what proteins do you recommend? So I recommend, like, if you're gonna do a protein treatment, like uh Green Beauty has a great one. I've never tried Botanica, but they say that. I also have my strengthening hair mask, and I'm going to say this, there are a wide range of proteins, but the ones you want to look for are actually hydrolyzed proteins. If your product does not say such and such hydrolyzed protein, like oat hydrolyzed protein, wheat hydrolyzed protein, uh, quinoa hydrolyzed protein, if they don't say the hydrolyzed protein part afterwards, you technically don't have a protein treatment or a strengthening hair mask, because it's not, the proteins then are not small enough to actually penetrate into the hair strand to deliver that strength, to deliver those basically amino acids to help form the protein bonds. It's just not doing that. It can coat the hair strand, providing a protective layer, but then it's rinsed off once the treatment is rinsed off. Unless it's hydrolyzed, hydrolyzed are the only ones that go small enough to enter into the hair shaft to actually do something. That's kind of what we talk about in the video that I dropped in the chat. I highly recommend everyone should like watch that at some point, because protein is one of those things that's not talked about too often in the natural hair community. But we really need to stress that a lot of people sometimes lose moisture fast and they can't figure out why, and it's because they're not doing enough protein treatments. It's not just because you're not adding enough moisture, it's because you're not, what happens with the proteins, they actually form a protective layer around the hair cuticle, preventing moisture loss, right? It's a way to kind of lock in moisture. So when you don't do protein treatments, you keep losing moisture often and often and often. You're not able to retain moisture as often. And it could be due to that. There are other factors too, but I noticed that, well, obviously most high porosity people have this problem, but so do people who have low porosity hair who never do protein treatments. So do some of us who have fine strands or even medium strands. If you use chemicals, you use heat, there's a lot of reasons why that can happen, and a lot of times it's tied to protein. All right, I know I had a lot to say. Okay, let me get back. Okay, living my best life says, what causes the hair to snap? I haven't changed any products, but my hair constantly snaps. Your hair has too much protein in it. You're not, or you're just not giving it enough moisture. So even if you have the same products, the products may not be working for you. The products may contain silicones that are not easily washed away, and you're not cleansing your hair properly enough. In order for your hair to actually become rehydrated during your wash day. You're not either moisturizing it on enough schedule. Whenever your hair snaps like that, just pop, snaps, too much protein, not enough moisture. So you need to either reevaluate your routine or the type of products. Sometimes products, like I was saying, that contain silicones in it, if you're not completely washing your hair, if you're co-washing your hair too often, not using enough shampoo, and you're also not rehydrating it with that deep conditioner and moisturizing throughout the week, your hair's not getting enough moisture, and therefore it's just going to feel brittle and dry and snap whenever you manipulate it. Oh, Nika says slippery elm doesn't have protein. That's why it leaves a waxy film on your hair when it dries. It can't penetrate. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Boo. Brenda Bell says I do one every 2 months. Perfect. And that's, yeah. 'Cause I think I asked if anyone does one. How often? That's perfect. Perfect. Sandy says, I was doing rice water. I don't like the effigy. It's too messy. So, Sandy, technically, rice water is not a protein treatment. It does contain starchy, almost like starchy things that can act like a protein. It has strengthening properties. That's why some people feel like their hair can get hard with use over time. Um, it coats the strand, but again, it's not small enough to actually penetrate into it. The only protein, the only rice that can actually penetrate as a protein treatment is the rice protein, which is, and it says specifically on there, hydrolyzed rice protein, and that's it. All the other stuff is I would say is more strengthening. And this is where we kind of talked about earlier, the difference between strength and protein. They can act similar, but strengthening treatments don't necessarily have to be protein, but protein treatments pretty much are always strengthening. And Sandy, you don't have to do apogee. You can try like Green Beauty. You can try my strengthening hair mask, which basically already has protein and moisture just combined in one treatment. Shaneka says, oh, you said henna and strength. You alternate between, so I was a bit lost. Okay, no, I totally understand. And sometimes I speak about things that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not clearly exhibiting or telling you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, yes, strengthening treatments or protein treatments. And let me say this again. Henna is a strengthening treatment. Protein treatments are different. So two different things, similar type effects, but two very different things. Okay. Oh, Kel said, I suspect that as hair grows longer, hair benefits more from protein treatments because the ends are older and weaker. And have you seen Nika's hair after she does that protein? Yes. Kels, and I say this all the time, like, yes, and I'm sure she's gonna jump in. She says, I'm actually on a protein treatment schedule, so I don't wait until my hair tells me it's ready. My hair kind of knows what's coming and when. Yeah, and I cannot stress that enough. Like, once you really know your hair, and that's why I say I never wait till my hair is like breaking to be like, oh, let me get a protein treatment. Well, I just noticed once my hair starts to act it's a little, I'm like, protein time, right? Um, and if y'all don't know, Nika has, I don't even know what kind of thigh length hair. Nika has crazy long hair. She does protein treatment. She uses Alpha G. And it tells you really might be onto something. As you say, like the longer your hair gets, the more you benefit from proteins. And it's true because your hair, is older. It's weaker. And over time, it's one of those things that just protein depletes over time, wear and tear. Those ends are old. They need more strength. They need more protein. They need more moisture. So I do agree. And I think that's why I would say almost everyone I know who has really long hair uses protein quite frequently or on a schedule. I won't say quite frequently, but on a regimented like schedule or routine. Um, Okay, Shaneka, you said it's rice or protein, and I think I answered it. Unless it says hydrolyzed rice protein, it is not. It is a strengthening treatment, not a protein treatment. Janelle says, are the herbs I use for my powerhouse tea also good to be mixed together and used as a one-time hair mask? Yeah, you can definitely use all of those herbs as a hair mask. Just note that, I mean, depending on the type of mix, like if you use a lot of henna, if you use a lot of brahmi or some herbs, your mask is going to be more strengthening than conditioning. So it's great to use. Nothing wrong with that. I use henna treatments all the time, and it's a really strengthening treatment. But if you want to go with like a little bit of strength and more conditioning, you'll probably use a little bit more amla or a little bit moringa or add some type of like coconut milk to it or honey to it. Other properties to help make it more moisturizing. Sandy says, sorry, I scrolled up too far. Oh, Sandy says, what about the Affirm protein treatment? I don't know. I've never used it, but if the company classifies it, and this is why, if the company classifies it as a protein treatment, and I'm sure Affirm is a good brand, and I'm saying like, I'm not saying they're bad brands, but I'm saying sometimes some of these YouTubers who start hair product companies and they label stuff that's not necessarily always true. Affirm is a brand that I know if they called it a protein treatment, it more than likely has hydrolyzed proteins and is classified as a true protein treatment. I've never used it, but I don't know. It's probably fine. It probably works just as a normal protein treatment does. Let's see. Jackie says, hi Michelle, what can I do to help nape hair to grow and also the side of my hair? So nape hair, it's really interesting because I feel like a lot of people either their nape hair grows or it really doesn't. And my nape hair actually tends to grow very, very well. Nape hair usually has a lot of issues because it's right here and it rubs against your neck and it rubs against here and your clothes. And so a lot of people have issues with their nape growing. One of the things that I've seen a lot of people do who struggle with that is they actually wear like a little small braid across the back of their hair, or they like do a flat twist to keep the hair up and away from rubbing their edges and rubbing, and that actually helps their hair to retain length. Now, if your nape is not growing, as in hair is actually not growing from the hair follicle, you definitely want to go to like a doctor. But if you're just not retaining length, it means it's probably getting too much manipulation from clothes and neck and body, whatever, from rubbing up on it. So find ways to keep your hair up and out of the way. Try the little one braid method. Try styles that will help keep that off the neck and off the clothes. And when you say the side of my hair, what do you mean? Like this, like a side of your hair or your edges? Like, what do you mean? Okay, Brenda Bell says, I was just watching your video on nutrition for hair growth. I noticed a big difference with my hair when I started consuming greens and the herbs I put in my hair. Yeah, same. I mean, think about it. Our bodies are need vitamins and nutrients to grow and to thrive and to everything for hair, skin, body, all of it. So when we consume enough, then our hair flourishes. The same with drinking water. A lot of people don't drink enough water, and a lot of people told me that when they started drinking more water, their hair started to flourish. So did their skin. Let's see. Jelly says, is ORS hair mayonnaise any good? So it's funny. I used to use ORS hair mayonnaise years ago, and it was perfectly fine. It worked really well for me. I haven't used it. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't used it in the past 10 years because I pretty much use like all natural products now. But it was perfectly fine. Z Baby says, morning all from SoCal. Hey girl. She says, just logging in. Michelle, did you mention what the new challenge is? So I kind of just briefly mentioned it, but I'm going to let people also vote one more week on it, but it really looks like it's going to be the protective style and length retention challenge. Right now that's at 43%. So we're going to, whatever challenge we're going to do, we're going to start that on September 1st, and I'll make a whole video about it. I'll give you guys all the details. I want to give one more week to let people vote on it. And then one more, then I'll like the following Tuesday or Sunday, I'll give you guys all of the challenge details, everything that goes along. Okay, Nora says, when I use a protein treatment, I saw less tiny hairs break off on wash day. Does henna have the same effect? So Nora, yes, henna can definitely have the same effect as that. It can help minimize hair breakage and I call it the C's, the small C's on wash days. So yes, it can definitely help with that. My AC says, just joining, how often should you do a protein treatment? Oh, honey, we just talked about all of this. Okay, so let me just read all the questions because it looks like there's a few people who are asking now about protein, and I'm gonna say one long thing, and I'm gonna get everyone's questions. Z Baby says, Michelle and everyone, what are signs you need a protein treatment? Okay. Hi, Michelle. I never use a protein. What are the telltale signs of new? Okay. All right. I highly also recommend that you watch the video I just did about protein treatments on Tip Tuesday. But some of the telltale signs your hair needs protein: breakage, extreme stretching of the hair, poor elasticity, poor moisture retention. Your curls are not defining like it normally does. Your hair's not responding to products like it is. Sometimes even extreme dryness can be a sign of protein treatment. Now, if your hair is breaking off quickly, then no. But if your hair is like, I don't want to say mushy, but almost like mushy or extremely soft in areas, it can be time for a protein treatment. There are different types of proteins. If you guys, I'm going to redrop the video in the chat box. Okay. In that video that I just dropped, I talk about all the different types of proteins. There's small proteins, there's medium proteins, and there's large size proteins, okay? So not all protein treatments are created equally. And I recommend, if you've never done a protein treatment, don't start off with Apogee. You can start off with something easier like a strengthening hair mask. Now, y'all know I sell a strengthening hair mask, but I'm going to highly recommend, it doesn't have to be mine. It can be anyone, but do one that contains hydrolyzed proteins, okay? So oat protein, oat hydrolyzed protein, wheat hydrolyzed protein, silk hydrolyzed protein, soy hydrolyzed proteins, okay? My strengthening hair mask contains proteins and amino acids and a conditioner, right? So that will give you guys a good taste to see how your hair responds, and you don't have to worry about like extreme dryness and breakage and all that because it contains a conditioner aspect of it. It's protein and conditioner, so your hair can get like the perfect balance. Okay, and then from there, you can move on to other types of protein treatments, okay? Because our hair is made up of proteins, and I will say people who have thin strands and fine strands need protein probably more than someone who has coarse strands. If you have coarse strands, that means your strands are thicker. Your strands are naturally have more proteins than someone who has fine strands. Someone who has fine or thin strands actually, a lot of them are missing the medulla, which is the inner cortex or inner level of the hair strand, which means it's more prone to breakage which means why many of us who have fine strands have a harder time retaining length than someone who has medium to coarse strands, which is why protein is very, very key. But in that video I just dropped in the chat, I talk about that because there are different levels of proteins. There are small hydrolyzed proteins, medium hydrolyzed proteins, and large hydrolyzed proteins. So you can kind of play around to see which ones work best for you. You don't have to go through the, I must do this particular one and this is the only one I have to do. Some products and other companies have it. I know Mael has it. I know Miche Lavish Beauty has it. A lot of these brands all have some type of strengthening hair mask which contains hydrolyzed protein. So see which ones your hair likes and play along with that. But I can't stress enough that protein treatments are so, so important, and you want to do them about every 6 to 8 weeks. And you want to, if you've never done one before, I always recommend, again, the strengthening hair mask first. Get enough protein and moisture and work your way up to eventually a full Afro-G, or it doesn't have to be Afro-G. We're going to talk about Green Beauty. There are other brands, but Botanica, that are protein treatments that you can use. This past week I did Afro-G. That's why I said I recommend you also watch my video I did this past week for Tip Tuesday. And every about 2 months, I'm going to drop a protein video for you guys, trying a new brand out to show you guys how to use it, my experience, et cetera, because I really can't stress enough. It's one thing I also don't see that much happen in the natural hair community, but protein treatments are really the key to really get length retention and moisture retention. Our hair is made up of protein, so they deplete over time. They naturally deplete because of wear and tear, shampooing, the sun, manipulating your hair, combing your hair, brushing your hair. The longer your hair gets, the older, the weaker your hair gets. The protein helps to fill in those bonds, fill up that, allows you to retain moisture for longer. Okay, let me see if there's anything I missed. I'm about to jump back over here. Okay, Jill says, I'll definitely try the one you sent on the link. Okay, perfect. Nicole says, hi. Okay. Hi and happy Sunday. Gone for a while. I was busy with work. Well, thank you for coming back. Welcome back. Z Baby says, Michelle and everyone else, what else? Okay. Hi, Michelle. I never use a protein treatment. Okay. My hair is thin, fine strands, a low porosity. Okay. And if anybody has any other questions that I didn't answer, please let me know too. Okay. Robin says, just order the shea butter and the shea for my fine strands. Excited. Compare and try something new. Awesome. Z Baby says, I'm terrified to do a protein treatment. Well, Z Baby, again, I hope that you can try maybe a strengthening hair mask treatment before you do protein, but it's not as, I think, because like I said, I think people don't talk about it, but like it's not as scary as it is. Also, someone also mentioned and I used to use this religiously, actually almost every wash day when I was using commercial hair products. The Afro-G 2 minute reconstructor. That thing would give my hair so much life, and it's almost like a light protein treatment every time I would use it. My hair needed protein at that time because I was, again, at that point just using henna, not realizing that, oh, your hair still needs protein. And so my hair was just like in love. So Silver Sister said, I'm still waiting on my Amla gloss bar. What carrier do you, where are you at? Oh my goodness, hold on. Let's see. What carrier? I use USPS. That's the major one that I use. Sorry, everybody's calling me right now. I'm like, I'm on my live. So where are you located? Because usually it's USPS. And when did you order? And you can also DM me or email me if you don't want to share all that on the chat. Pamela says, sorry, let me scroll out. Used to have a deep fear. Okay, Pamela says, I used to have a deep fear of protein treatments, but how I got over it was to start using products with moderate proteins and built my way up. Perfect, Pamela, because I literally just said that, and I love to hear it because if y'all don't know, Pamela actually has like waist-length hair, and her daughter like hip-length hair, just bomb beautiful, thick 4C beautiful hair. She also uses herbs in her hair, and she's also saying the same things that I'm saying, is that like a lot of people have fear of proteins, but again, using them in like a strengthening hair mask will really help you to see how well your hair responds. Okay. Jen says, can mix these herbs for a hair mask, amla, henna, bringraj, jasmanzi, then do an indigo. Get rid of gray. Yes. If you're going to try to get rid of grays, what you should do is the henna and indigo treatment. So you can use the henna with the other herbs, right? The bringraj, jasmanzi, and amla. Do a henna treatment with the majority of the mix with henna. And then you're going to add the indigo as a separate treatment. So you're going to let the henna sit, mix it, sit for whatever, 2 to 3 hours in your hair after you let the dye release. Stop. And then you're going to rinse that out. And then you're going to mix up your indigo. Your indigos do your blue-black treatment. You're going to let that sit, mix, add a tad bit of salt, like a teaspoon of salt. I actually have a video on it. You just put in Now I Am Nappy Henna Indigo. I should talk about all of this in that video. And then apply that to your hair. Your hair will be jet black, no grays. Let me just text everyone because it's both of my in-laws have called me and I'm like, let me just text them because usually if they both call me, okay, let me see if my husband's here because then I can just ask him. Okay, sorry. Let me see. Okay, Nika says, I don't use Apogee anymore. I make my own now. Of course you do, Nika. Okay, Kel says, Michelle, you are saving hair with these lives. Just had to throw this in here. Yes, I'm glad. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, y'all, if you find anything helpful or useful. I appreciate it. Erica says, what would you put on your hair extensions when you are having a sauna? What do you mean? What do I put on my hair extensions? Like if I'm in the sauna, when I was in the sauna, I just left my hair extensions as they were. You talking about like braids or twists? Or are you talking about something else? Nora says, my dermatologist prescribed I'm not going to try and pronounce that, but I know what it is. Antifungal shampoo that has hydrolyzed collagen as an ingredient. Is that protein? My hair feels like straw after I use the shampoo. Yes, that is protein. Yes, it is. Just make sure I know because you're using antifungal that they probably are careful about the conditioner that you're using, but try to find a conditioner that it makes your hair feel much, much better. I don't know if you can use my oat and aloe deep conditioner, but if you can, I highly recommend that because using that every time you shampoo, it's gonna suck, but but you need it because you have antifungal issues. But what you can do as well. Oh, Nora, were you the one who told me you didn't like the neem powder? I was gonna say, oh, if you don't like neem, you can still put a little bit of Tulsi powder in your conditioner. Oh, hi, Night. You just gonna busting in my room? Put a little bit of Tulsi powder in your deep conditioner because it also contains antifungal, antimicrobial properties. Well, hello there, buddy. Hi. Hi. Hi, baby. Sorry, Night just came busting in. Okay. Hi. Okay. Brenda Bill says, I get protein hair packs at TJ Maxx. They are $8. Then I add 2 scoops of collagen to the jar. This will give my family 2 treatments. It's cheap and an effective way to do it. Yes, that's bomb. That's good. Jen Lees, if you ask a question one time, I will get to you. You don't have to ask the same question multiple times. I'm just going down the list and reading everyone's comments. So sometimes if I don't get to you right away, I will definitely respond. You don't have to send it multiple times. Because I know you're trying to get your questions answered too, and I totally understand. Brenda Bell says, I'll definitely join a challenge. I'm obsessed with Ayurveda. Yeah, me too. Okay, I do it every 2 months. Perfect. Okay. Oh, you're answering MJ Garner. She says, I get whatever they have. Because she asked her what protein mash she has at TJ Maxx. She says, I get whatever they has as long as the ingredients say hydrolyzed. Yes. Okay, okay. Tamla says, I was using the hair mask weekly as a conditioner. Is that okay? It definitely can be just fine because I said I used to use protein weekly just like that. As long as your hair stays good, yes. Because again, and I say this all the time, it's a perfect balance. You get your protein and you get your moisture. And that's really the key is protein moisture balance. And if that works for you, by all means. But maybe eventually take a break and use just a pure deep conditioner occasionally. You might not have to do it all the time, but occasionally. Um, let's see. Okay, you said protein treatments are life. Nicole says I do a protein treatment every 6 to 8 weeks. Give my hair life all the time. Yes, it really does. It really does. Sandy says for my henna mask, I add fenugreek oil, moringa, bringraj, hibiscus, amla, aloe vera powders. I'm considering adding neem and burdock root. I always use coconut milk. That's perfect. I'm always a fan of adding neem just because neem contains antifungal, antimicrobial properties. And I'm like definitely a big fan of always having that in there as like added. Hello from Johnny, Utah. So the coconut milk leaves my hair smoother. Also, it's a heck of a lot easier to clean up after you wash it out. Yes, it really, really is. Z Baby just saying thanks to me and Pam. Okay, Jackie says, Hi, Michelle. Thank you for answering my last question. My hair edges are fine. I mix olive oil and rosemary oil to rub into my edges. Could you please advise me anything else I can use to help me? Um, to help you with your edges? I'm guessing that's what you mean. If you're dealing with like hair loss or hair fall, um, I have Ayurvedic oil mixes on my YouTube channel, for hair loss issues. But you can use it, and if you just type in hair loss oil, now I am nappy, you can find it. But herbs like Brahmi and Bringraj, Amla, saw palmetto, you can infuse all those into oils and then use them. Those herbs actually help to strengthen the hair down at the follicle level, to help fight hair fall. So those are really, really great to use. Rosemary is also amazing, amazing for hair growth. So you're on the right track. If you only had rosemary, that's also just fine. Jenlise, did you hear my question? Did you hear my answer about your question about the henna and the indigo to get rid of the grays? I see you asked again, and I just want to make sure you heard me because I did answer your question a little bit earlier. Z Baby says, I'm so afraid because my hair is thriving. I'm about 8 months into my natural hair journey. Well, again, like I said, okay, I missed that. You said what I think I'm hearing and learning is that because I have fine and high porosity hair, I need protein more than most people. Michelle, is that right? Yes, yes, you do. And again, start slow. Start with my strengthening hair mask or a strengthening hair mask. I cannot stress that enough. It doesn't have to be something. You don't have to do no effigy, okay? I know you saw me do it. It doesn't have to be. Um, Try something light. Try my strengthening hair mask or a strengthening hair mask. You can find one local to you that has strength and moisture. Try that, okay? Because you think that your hair is, and I'm not saying it isn't amazing, but it could be better, maybe, right? And you're like me. I don't have high porosity hair, but you have fine strands. You'd be surprised at how well your hair will do with some protein. Um, Zebra says 70 plus folks viewing should be the same amount of likes, ladies. Michelle giving us top notch knowledge. Yes, go ahead and give those likes up. Brenda says it will only add to your hair journey, Z baby. Give it a try. Your curls will pop. Brenda Bell's over here. Yes, she be over here telling you exactly what I be saying. I love it. I love to see in the chats that y'all can validate what I am saying because it is real. It is real. Hey, Sassy. Hey, sis. Hello, hello. Silver Sister says, she sure is. Thank you, Michelle. You're welcome. You're so welcome, you guys. Sassy says, I have a question about when you took Emerson. Did you take it on an empty stomach or with food? So I actually took it on an empty stomach in the morning. I would take it whenever I would take my workout stuff. So I would work out in the morning and I would just drink it on an empty stomach. Some people might find that irritates their stomach that early, but for me that was fine. I added either my vitamin C pills or my amla in a smoothie or in a tea, but it always seemed to be on an empty stomach. When I was taking it midday, I would take it right when I was starting to eat my meal, so it wasn't necessarily on an empty stomach, but like I took a few bites, drank my tea, took a few bites. So like kind of like that. Robin says, "Do you incorporate Ayurveda in your diet for skin and hair?" Oh yes. Oh yes. So I drink teas as part of for like my diet for health and for skin. Y'all know I use my clay treatments. I use my shampoo bar, which is infused with Ayurveda on my skin. I use my Ayurveda whipped butter on my skin as well. Um, I also do use serums and other things that are not necessarily Ayurveda based. But uh, yeah, I do. If you actually look at my I have a vitamins, I think it's like vitamins and something video. I talk about what vitamins and stuff I take and use. Like I do sea moss and all of that and smoothies and so yeah. And even like when I was starting to feel like a little bit under the weather, I did get tested, it wasn't COVID. I do like black seeds, I do echinacea, I do. Well, I just drew a blank on what else. Elderberry. Elder said blackberry. Elderberry. There's a lot of things that I do holistically as part of not just skin and hair care. Yeah, skin and hair care, but internally, because it's all Ayurveda is actually an internal approach. We're a lot of times we talk about just the external for our hair, and sometimes for our skin, but there's a lot that can be integrated into your like lifestyle. Okay, what else? Tanya says, "What your thoughts on daily co-washing with conditioner?" Tanya, not a fan, and the reason a lot of people, and this may be different, but a reason sometimes people were co-washing at one point with the conditioner daily was because their hair was drying out, and so they felt like the co-wash with conditioner was giving them added moisture. What I have learned over time is that I wasn't using quality enough ingredients, right, on my wash day. So, a quality shampoo, a quality conditioner, that my hair was feeling dry. I wasn't moisturizing my hair after wash day the way I should or with quality ingredients. And so, then the following day or two, my hair was feeling dry. So, I thought, I'll just co wash it to add moisture back in my hair. Now, there's nothing wrong with co washing. Let me be clear, maybe midweek just to refresh your hair. But the two major issues that many people have, and the reason why I actually don't really promote co-washing too much on my page, is that conditioner cannot cleanse the hair. Um, and conditioner buildup is real and can cause hair loss if you don't remove it with a shampoo or cleanser. And that was a lot of people who were just solely co-washing and not using shampoos were having severe issues with hair fall or regrowing the hair again. So, I always ask, like, what is the intention with co-washing every day? Because your hair should be able to maintain moisture for longer than one day, and that may mean that you need a better regimen with moisture and with maybe deep conditioning and rehydrating your hair, looking at better ingredients. Because if you feel the need to co-wash your hair because your hair is dry, it's just again telling me that you don't have a good regimen to begin with. Sherry says, "I love Green Beauty's protein treatment. Do you think Green Beauty is a much lighter protein treatment than Alpha G? I think of alternating them." Yeah, I wouldn't say it's much lighter, but because you mix it with something else, yes, it contains more like moisture and protein. So you get a mix of both. To me, nothing beats Alpha G as probably one of the strongest protein treatments out there. So I would say in that instance, yes, it's much lighter. Nora's asking does anyone know a conazole? I know I mispronounced that. Shampoo that does not contain protein. I don't, but if anyone does, please drop it in the chat box for her. Because I know again, like proteins when used occasionally are fine, but every time you have to shampoo your hair can be a lot. And honestly, it's really interesting that you can put protein treatments in shampoos as well as conditioners. Um, the proteins in shampoos really, really bind to the hair more than a protein in a conditioner does, because the shampoo. Remember, when you shampoo your hair, all your cuticles get lifted, right? And so the protein just immediately goes in, binds to it, and it's like locked there. So when you rinse it out, it's like, hey, right? And that's why sometimes people put intentionally they put shampoo proteins in shampoos for that like real intense type of treatment. But yeah, so to do that every single time you have to shampoo your hair, I can imagine how your hair must really feel. So if anyone has any suggestions for her, please do. I can look after the words to see if I find any as well. Oh, Sandy said, I did your Bringraj oil. It's more drying than the fenugreek oil. That's why I added it to my hair mask, the powder. Yeah, Bringraj can be, I will admit, Bringraj can be a bit drying. It has a lot of strengthening properties within it. And that really is tied to why it strengthens the hair follicle down there. It's really meant to yeah. So I feel you. Z Baby says, my hair loves strengthening hair masks. So, see, Z Baby, that tells me then that your hair probably will do really well with protein, because a lot of people can't do strengthening hair masks, but because you're fine and high porosity, it tells me that you'll probably do very, very well with even a strengthening hair mask. Yeah. And you're like me. You see, I can do henna. My hair does very, very well with strengthening treatments. I mean, very, very well. I don't ever think, once I learned about proper balance, I don't think I've ever had a strengthening treatment that just left my hair feeling like crap. Hey, Brown and TT. She said, I didn't even realize you were live. It's okay, sis. I wasn't sure I was going to come on, and I'm probably actually going to head out in a few because I have a lot of things I need to get done today. I'm actually going to go to a movie premiere, and so I'm going to get dressed up. Yeah, I said I was only going to come on for 30 minutes, but I already knew that wasn't going to happen because, y'all always be riding for me with all the questions. So, I gotta answer. But I'm going to probably be on for another maybe 5 minutes. So if you have anything else, you guys ask it now, because I'm about to scroll through the video, the questions, and try to get as much answered, and then I'm gonna head out. So, all right. So let me go through here. Oh, Brenda Bell says, you helped me with my journey. Love your channel. Oh, you're so welcome, sis. You are so, so welcome. I love to hear that. Hey, Patricia says, hey, Michelle. Hey. Hey, Faith. How are you, sis? Nora says, would you consider adding a super moisturizing deep, deep conditioner to your products? One that does not contain aloe for us who are allergic to aloe. So yes, Nora, I'm actually, it's funny because I was actually working on another one. I was actually working on my hibiscus line, and then just life came at me fast. And because I'm also prepping to go back into work, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself because I was already feeling a bit overwhelmed. But I'm actually going to start working on that again, trying to get everything together and out, because I'm actually working on a new moisturizer for that is not a twist cream, but a moisturizer a little bit heavier than the leave-in, but maybe not as heavy as my twist cream, something kind of right in the middle, and a deep conditioner, a hibiscus deep conditioner without any aloe, also without any of the I can't even think of the names of them right now, but the herbs the ragweed herbs that people are allergic to. So I'm working on a line like that for you guys, for those who have allergies. So yeah. Deborah says, Michelle, just wondering, are there any herbs or oils that shouldn't be used together? I really can't think of any. I think there's always an intention, and my channel, I always talk about being intentional about why you're using oils and herbs. So I guess my question is what are you trying to achieve, or are you nervous about mixing certain things with other things? I'm just curious about what are you trying to do, and that's making you maybe nervous about it. I will say though, try to always use dried herbs anytime you're fusing into an oil. Any type of herbs that are not dried might contain contaminants, and then your oil gets contaminated with water, and that's annoying. But other than that, no, I pretty much feel like you can almost infuse anything you want to use. I have a video about actually infusing Ayurvedic oils and herbs together, so I highly recommend checking that out on my channel. It talks about like some of the best oils to use to infuse herbs in, the shelf life of oils, and trying not to infuse oils in that case maybe that have a short shelf life. For instance, if you're infusing an oil that only has a 3 month shelf life and then you infuse it for a month or 2 months, right, with herbs, and then you only have a month to use it, and maybe you made a big batch, and so then you have a shorter shelf life. So maybe things like that. I kind of discussed that in that video about how to infuse Ayurvedic oils. So that's the only instance maybe I wouldn't do that. Obviously, I'm more of like I choose oils like extra virgin olive oil and almond oil or sweet almond oil or avocado oil that have a 1 to 2 year shelf life. So even if I infuse my oils for 2 to 3 months, I still have a year plus to use up the oil. So okay, Olivia says, I've never done a protein treatment. I'm scared. I'm worried I'll do it wrong. Well, don't be scared. I did a video last week about, well, apogee, but really, I'm really going to actually stress you guys, anybody who's not done a protein treatment, look at the video that I'm about to drop in the chat right now, okay? So this is the video me and my nephew did on protein treatments. Now, it talks about why we should be using protein, what you should be looking for. We talk about 3 types of protein, like small, medium, large proteins, and how they can impact your hair, why you need it. And again, in that video, we actually formulate a conditioner, well, hair mask, I'll say that, a strengthening hair mask. Basically, something that contains proteins, but also a ton of moisturizing ingredients, so your hair gets both and it doesn't feel like you're doing like an AphoG treatment. Now, the video last week that I did was a full-blown AphoG protein treatment. Now, a lot of people, if you've never used protein, I don't recommend that you just jump into that, but jump off into something like that, or you can buy something in the store that's a strengthening hair mask, that contains the perfect level of proteins with moisture to introduce yourself into that. And in that video that I just dropped in the chat, I talk about like why people are so scared to use protein treatments, but why also protein treatments are not all created equally, why all proteins are not created equally, and the need to kind of like try it out and see which ones work best for you. But doing so, I think, in a perfect way of saying like using it in a hair mask treatment, because then you'll get to know, okay, my hair likes soy proteins or silk proteins. My hair hates wheat proteins or keratin proteins or whatever. The point is, like, that video has a lot of explanation on that. And then when you're ready, you can try other proteins, pure protein treatments. Green Beauty has one. You know, we all know AphoG. Other brands have their own protein treatments, but I always recommend the hair mask first. Okay. Nika says, I love that you have videos on everything. Yes, because I've been doing this, girl, and I've been really trying to help people. And I know some people just came on my page recently and they've only seen recent videos, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you about my repertoire. Let me tell you about what I got in the winds. Like, because I'm all about more than just trying to sell somebody a product. I really want you to understand your hair to get on that journey, and you won't ever have to struggle. I mean, unless something happens. But you know, for the most part, you get your routine going and you're on autopilot. Okay. Robin says, I'm glad you said you have a video for henna and indigo. I followed a YouTuber a few months ago and I mixed henna and indigo and it did it in one step and got orange color in my hair. Big mistake. Yeah. Yeah. It's better to do 2-step. If you want black hair, it has to be the 2-step process. That's it. Z Baby says, in the beginning of my journey, I used Shea Moisture Strengthening Mask. Was that true or quality strengthening product? I'm not sure, but if you look on the ingredients, if they contain hydrolyzed proteins, then yes, that's a strengthening hair mask. And I say this, and I say this again because I know more people are on this chat. I know sometimes people will see the word hair mask, and I have a video called Hair Mask, Deep Conditioner, Regular Conditioner? I forget what it's called now. But basically, I talk about brands actually formulated most hair masks as like light protein treatments, which is the hydrolyzed proteins with the conditioners. Deep conditioners contained no or minimal amounts of protein, and then regular conditioners could or couldn't. But the real difference between a hair mask and a deep conditioner is the fact that hair masks generally have proteins and hydrolyzed proteins in it. So that's generally the difference between the two. And I'm assuming that if they have strengthening mass, that there is probably shea moisture, that there's probably hydrolyzed proteins in it. But I would definitely look it up. If I had more time, I would definitely look it up for you. But just check the ingredient list. If you see anything that says hydrolyzed before that word, then it more than likely is a good quality protein treatment or strengthening treatment. Natasha says, I'm struggling with breakage, dryness, and thinning edges. So, any tips? Natasha, it's funny as we're talking about this, but you probably need to reevaluate your whole regimen. So, like, get yourself onto a regimen of shampooing, deep conditioning, and moisturizing your hair afterwards. But whenever I hear breakage and dryness and thinning, I think of protein. I think that you're lacking protein. Whenever there's severe breakage, that tells me that you probably need more protein treatments in your thing. So you can start off with a strengthening hair mask with, again, like we talked about, protein and moisture balance and combined with both. But then following up always with your leave-in, your conditioner, your leave-in conditioner, your moisturizer. Um, it's all about really developing a routine. But yeah. And if your edges are thinning, I also want to just stress to you, like, if you're wearing braids or you're wearing wigs or you're wearing weaves that are pulling on your edges, you really want to stop immediately. Give your edges a rest so that you can actually grow those edges back. You can look into Ayurvedic oils like amla powder with saw palmetto or bringraj or fenugreek that can help you with your thinning edges, massaging them, but really leaving them alone. Whatever's causing that, whatever's rubbing on those edges, causing them to thin, too tight pulling, that's causing them to thin. You want to stop that immediately to give them time to heal and grow back. Z Baby say I actually had the whole line: strengthening shampoo, conditioner, leave-in, and mask. Was that like the castor? Was that the Jamaican castor oil line? Z Baby. I don't know. I would honestly, if you have it still, I will look at the ingredients and see if you can find that, because then that will truly tell you if it actually had any proteins or not. Kanye says, "Hi, can I pre-poo a conditioner overnight?" Let me see. I scrolled up. I'm so sorry. Okay. Kanye says, "Hi, can I pre-poo with conditioner overnight?" Um, I'm not necessarily a fan of doing that. If you do it once or twice, fine. But why are you doing that overnight? Is your hair that dry? You feel like you need to condition it all the way overnight before shampooing? Like, what is your intention with this pre-poo? Why are you doing that overnight? Usually, most people can pre-poo for an hour, hour and a half, because that's about the max time your conditioner really, really, really works. In your hair. So that's my question, is why. And if you say, okay, whenever I shampoo, my hair feels dry and that's the reason I want to condition overnight before I shampoo, then you probably need to change your shampoo and get better quality products, because your shampoo, yes, its intention is to cleanse your hair, but it shouldn't make your hair feel stripped and completely like crap. Like, okay, it's supposed to cleanse your hair and then add your deep conditioner and then use that with steam or with heat for at least 30 to 45 minutes and then rinse it out and then use whatever leave-ins and conditioners you have afterwards. The biggest issue I feel like I see is that people don't have enough quality ingredients. And that could be like, okay, maybe in your country, maybe wherever you're at, you can't find your brand names like we have here. But you can also, as you notice on my page, I talk a lot about DIY stuff that you can always add to conditioners. You can add your herbal treatments to your conditioners to help amplify them, to help them make them better, right? Um, to get more from them. You can add extra butters, you can add coconut milk, you can add glycerin or honey. I have a ton of videos about how to make your products, better without maybe having to go out to the store to buy them, because maybe you don't have them, right? Or maybe you can't afford them. That's reality. And that's okay. But whenever I see people, and I say that because whenever I see people who are doing stuff, a ton of things, everything, they're like, I need to soak my hair overnight. I need to pre-poo for 36 hours before and this and that. And that's fine for sometimes, right? I say that not to knock Unica if you're still on, because she is, first of all, she has butt length hair, hip thigh length hair, and her process is just long because her hair is so long. But I'm talking about people who don't have quality products and quality ingredients, and they're doing that because their hair is constantly dry, their hair is constantly breaking. It's just like this cycle of where they feel like their hair is never moisturized. And so that's why I'm saying that, like, a lot of times when people are saying that to me, I'm always like, what is your intention? And if it's because your hair is constantly dry or the shampoo is too stripping, it just means you need better quality ingredients. Um, Sandy said, recommend a protein shampoo. Um, I don't know if I know one, honestly. That's a good one. I'll look, you know what? I'll take a picture, I'll remind myself and I'll look it up, okay? Because I don't know. And if anyone has one, feel free to drop it in the chat. And it's funny that you say that because, like, though, if you saw that I formulate the neem shampoo, my neem shampoo that I made was a protein shampoo. There was protein in it. Um, Not a ton, not enough to be a full protein treatment, but enough to help fill in the gaps in my hair. Um, Sassy S says, I made my protein treatments from gelatin similar to aftershave. Yeah, it's funny. I actually have. Oh, it's an old video. God, like, I'd almost be embarrassed to tell you. I actually have a video about making a protein treatment from gelatin, like the gelatin packs that you pour in, like you almost make Jello with. Yeah, yeah. Rose says, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Just came back from church. Well, welcome, and it's okay. She said, what did I miss? Oh, a whole lot, sis. I'm actually about to sign off soon, and I'm so, so sorry. But feel free to watch this. We talked so much about proteins, and really, we are on protein still. So, how says, I love your DIY and Boone and fenugreek deep conditioner. I add some drops of hydrolyzed silk protein for my next wash day. Perfect, perfect. That's great. Um, C Baby says, by the way, I didn't use that line weekly, only once a month. Oh, okay. Which makes sense, I guess, if you thought it was a strengthening or like protein treatment, you wouldn't need to use it weekly. Okay. All right. Let me see how many more questions. Oh my God. I'm never gonna get to the end. Okay. Oh, Nika just, and I'm glad I scrolled all the way to the bottom. Nika just said, Afuji shampoo is for damaged hair is a good one. So that one clearly has um protein in it, a protein shampoo. Okay, let me scroll back up. Wanda says, hi, Michelle. I'm losing my hair on my temples. Made an oil with rosemary, peppermint, lavender, ginger, olive oil. Doesn't seem to be helping. Any suggestions? So, Wanda, I would definitely go to your derm and see if your hair follicles are still active or dead. Because that may depend on whether it does help. But I would also include amla and salt palmetto, okay, because that combination has said to help regrow hair. But you do have some really good things in there that should be helping. How long has it been? And you might just need to be consistent for a longer time. Some people who have been, uh, the hair on their temples has been inactive for a long, long time or been falling out for quite an amount of time. It takes time for it to regrow, but also make sure, like, there's nothing else going on with you, like vitamin deficiencies or hormonal issues or high stress issues that can continue to cause hair fall. Okay, it's just Jennifer said, thank you for answering my last about my fine hair edges. No problem, sis. Do oils that we use in our hair need to be organic, the modern natural? So I prefer organic naturals, or naturals, organic naturals. I prefer organic oils. Yes, that's my preference, but use what you have. I wouldn't use the cooking grade stuff, really, but like all natural, organic if possible. Yes, that's my recommendation. But if you don't have it, you know, use what you have. Or unrefined, if not organic, try to find the unrefined version of it. Kels just said, ladies, remember to like the video. Thank you, sis. Tamma says, what can I use for deep conditioner on wash days? I use all your products and your conditioner can stain great. Oh, yeah. So are you DIYing, or you're talking about like you want me to recommend like another brand, another line for you? Because I do like, and I really do like Bask and Bloom's deep conditioner. Her what is it called? Not the More Moisture, the oh my goodness. Because I used to use that like almost exclusively before I started my own line, and hers doesn't stain graying hairs. But if you look at Bask and Bloom, she's an Ayurvedic line too. Her deep conditioner, it's like the Brahmi root deep conditioner or something like that. Brahmi root conditioner, that one, bomb. Um, okay. Where did you get your Alpha products? At my beauty supply store around the corner. They sell them. I'm in Philly. There's little beauty supply stores on every corner. They had them there. If not, I did put them. I did link them in my Amazon store. So if you want to grab them from Amazon, you definitely can if you don't have them in your area. But try your beauty supply store, your Sally's. I feel like Alpha is pretty much like everywhere. Z Baby says, Michelle, share pictures of yourself at the movie premiere. I definitely will. I'm actually about to sign off. I know I'm going to try and get down to everybody in a second, but like I'm going to have to sign off very, very soon so I can get ready. Sassy said, did you announce the new challenges yet? So no, but they are. So did you get a chance to vote on my community tab? Vote on my community tab. I'm giving everyone one more week to finish voting, and then I will announce it, and we will start the challenge September 1st. But it is definitely looking like it's going to be the protective style length retention one, because that one right now is at 43%, and it's the winner so far. But I'm giving everyone one more week, and then that's it. If you haven't voted, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're going to do a new hair challenge September 1st. You can vote on it. You go to my YouTube, hit the community tab, vote on the poll, which challenge you would like, okay? Oh, Alpha G protein treatment, I experienced a lot of tiny hair falls. With henna, no falls, just that it's messing up my white hair. Rose, what do you mean? Like little, like you're still experiencing breakage even after Alpha G? That's very interesting. Are you deep conditioning after you use the Alpha G treatment? Oh, Silver Sister says make one without olive oil. Okay, I'm trying to like make this next line to be as inclusive as I can, because I feel like everybody's like make one without the ragweed herbs, make one without aloe, make one without this, and I'm trying, y'all. Okay, hello from Croatia. Hello, Marco. Hi, Naturally in a Budget. She says hello. Silver Sister, deep conditioner and moisturizers always have olive oil. Makes my hair thin. Okay, sis. All right. I'll see what I can do for you. Octavia, I love your channel. I purchased the Alpha G and I will try it this week because I started the tea challenge. Awesome, sis. Awesome. Okay. Sarah, do you know where is Croatia? I mean, yeah, I know where Croatia is from very far, and I welcome you to our chat. I appreciate it. Blessings. Michelle, must I use water for moisturizer? I have very dry, horsey hair. So blessed, I want to say first and foremost, always hydration before moisture. So you need water-based products, and products that are going to attract water to your hair, like humectants. Okay, so your hair is dry, so you really want to focus on again, water-based products, and then products that contain also creams and your butters and your etc. Always deep condition your hair. Always use heat or steam while you deep condition, and then follow up with. I always say this: if you can't buy products, right? You can use water and glycerin in a spray bottle as your hydration, and then you can use your creams and butters on top of that to lock in that moisture. Sassy says I'm a little behind, and yay for the hibiscus line. Yes, thank you, sis. Thank you. I know I was supposed to be doing it, and life just got at me and came at me a little too fast. So I'm trying to make sure I can pace myself so I can still, do everything. Tony says, how often can you use a strengthening hair mask? And then Patricia says, is quinoa protein good for low porosity hair? I'm going to try to answer a few questions at one time. And Z Baby says, I would like to buy your strengthening mask. Does it contain chamomile or echinacea? Okay, I'm gonna answer all these at one time. So you can use a strengthening hair mask every 2 to 3 weeks. or 3 to 4 weeks. It depends on your hair and how often you're using other products that contain protein in it. I use mine every 3 weeks. It works perfectly. Again, it's protein and moisture. Some people can use it every wash day. Some people use it every 2 weeks. But listen to your hair, number one. Um, Notice what type of proteins are in it, because those are probably the types that your hair likes if it really works for you. Is quinoa protein good? It definitely can be, and I always say this, everybody's hair is different. Just because you have low porosity, all low porosity hair is not the same. You could have fine strands, you could have medium strands, you can have coarse strands. That can impact what type of um, protein your hair likes. I kind of talk about that. You can scroll up and you see that video I dropped in the chat. I talk about the different type of proteins they are and how they affect your hair differently, as some that are more film forming, some that can deeply go into. So I talk about proteins and which ones might be good for you to try and use. But if you have a product with quinoa protein, there's nothing wrong with trying it out and see how your hair responds. You don't have to put it all on your hair. You can only try a small section. You can also use it as the form of a conditioner. So add the protein to a conditioner so you don't get like the full like strong treatment, and see how your hair responds. Um, you never really know until you try, but you can also, there is a range of which small, medium, and large proteins and how they can impact your hair. And yes, the baby, my conditioner does, my strengthening mask does contain chamomile and echinacea. So as I said, I acknowledge that you cannot use those. I'm actually working on, that's in the hibiscus. I'm going to try and leave that as low allergy as possible. Okay. Uh, excuse me. I used to use effigy back when I permed my hair for work. It worked well then, and now I'm starting on my natural hair. Perfect. Yes. Yes. It worked well when I had permed hair too. I wish I would have learned about it long before that, because my hair was a hot breaking mess. Bless says, is Cantu products good for 4C hair? Um, it can be. I'm not a fan of Cantu anymore. I used to like old Cantu. They changed their formula quite a few times. Some people still really love it. Not necessarily my favorite, because they started using inferior ingredients in their line. Again, I have an entire line, all natural, right now, still 20% off. Even though I said the sale ends yesterday, it's still on. So if you want to get it, definitely check that out. I'll drop that in the chat. Um, I'm literally giving for myself 4 more minutes, and then I am signing off, because I I said I was gonna. I love how every time I told my husband, I was like, I'm only gonna be on for 30 minutes. He's like, mm-hmm. And now we're an hour and a half in, and I know I really gotta go. So I'm gonna sign off in about 4 minutes. So I can get ready. I will drop a picture of me in the on my community tab of me dressed up for later. Obviously on Instagram too, but I know a lot of y'all are not on Instagram, but I'm going to drop. Okay, so definitely if you want to grab something there. All right. Brownie says, yes, ma'am, giving us more options. You know it. Hey, Miriam, how are you? Chill. It'd be a whole marathon over here. Yes, yes. Hey, Gertrude. Mark says, how are you today? Is Jamaican oil good for your hair? Yeah, Jamaican black castor oil, Mark. Is that what you're asking? Yes, it's really, really good. Make sure you dilute it with another oil, because I know it can be thick and a little bit sticky. And the best way actually to use Jamaican castor oil is to dilute it with like a little bit of a carrier oil. Sorry, I said castor oil. A carrier oil, to so it's not as thick, and then use that. It's really good for your like your edges, your roots. It's really, really good. Nika says, "How are you today?" Oh wait, no, who said that? That wasn't Nika. Jesus, I scrolled up. Why did I scroll up, Ma? Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. After shampoo for damaged hair is a go. Thank you, Nika. Yeah, I did respond to that. Okay. Yes, you recommended that I use honey in my DIY pre-poo and deep conditioner, and my hair is thriving because of it. Yes, perfect. Gertrude said, I finally know why my hair was not growing. I don't know the problem, but the doctor said I have anemia. What can help me? Yeah, which is why I always recommend everybody go to their doctor to get blood tested when they're having hair issues. Make sure you get your iron up. That's if you have iron anemia, or what's the other version? Whatever. What type of anemia do you have? The only way for your hair to grow to full capacity is to increase, if it's your iron, to increase your iron quite a bit. And it's probably going to take about 3 to 6 months to get to where you need to be. Now, it depends on, I don't know how far anemic you are, but when I had that happen to me, I have a whole hair loss story on my YouTube when it happened to me. It took me 6 months for my hair to get back to where it needed to be. And it's because I need to fix my diet. Didn't matter what I put on my hair. It did not. You can use things like amla and the saw palmetto and the fenugreek, all great, black seed, rosemary. But until you get your insides right, your hair is going to suffer a little bit. So if you can ask your doctor if there's any way to give you like iron shots, if it's your iron, I don't know. There's different types of anemia. I'm assuming it's iron. If it is the iron anemia, ask him if he can do something to help boost your iron levels, because it's just going to take a while to do it on your own. And unfortunately, I'm telling you, like, until your iron gets there, these things are just topical temporary fixes, and you really have to get your diet like under control and get your iron levels up. Annie says, Cantu is good for 4C hair. My daughter has 4C and it works to soften it up for styling. Well, perfect. That's what I said. I know some people really love it, so that's awesome. Robin says, thanks, Michelle, and everyone else for all the knowledge. Have a great day. All right, thank you too. Thank you for tips regarding breakage. Okay, do you have one of your videos you can recommend for this so I can develop a regimen? Yeah, if you look at, let me see. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I'm sorry. If you look at my channel, and I don't want to scroll off because it's going to be slow. If you look at my channel, you type in Ayurvedic hair regimen, Now I Am Nappy, my regimen will come up, and I talk about wash day. I show you everything from styling, refresher, leave-in, deep conditioner, all of that. How I use my regimen and how to build your own. So if you just type in Ayurvedic hair regimen, Now I Am Nappy, you can find that. Okay. Sorry, I can't drop it in the link. I'm trying to get to everybody. The modern answer, I did answer your question. You must have missed it. I said, do oils need to be organic? And I said, no, I don't. They don't have to be. If you don't have them, you can use unrefined if you can't find organic. I always prefer that. I try not to use any type of cooking versions, but I try to find the unrefined versions if you can't find organic. I want to put all herbs that grow hair into one oil. So yes, I want to make a super concoction for hair growth. Thanks for your reply. You're so smart, especially regarding shelf life per ingredient. Oh, you're welcome, dear. Nora says, is it okay to use a shampoo that has salicylic acid as one of its ingredients? Or is it too drying? It depends on how the shampoo is formulated. I can't just say using that can be drying. Where is it on the ingredient list? What is the shampoo for like antibacterial, antimicrobial, Nora? If it is, then it probably might be high enough to help prevent some of that bacterial and fungal growth, and heal the scalp. So you might be okay with it. Oh, Janine says, FYI, Basque and Bloom reformulate their Brahmi root mask. Brahmi is near the end of the ingredient list. Oh, boo. I did see she reformulated stuff. I did not look at it. Like I said, the last time I used it was probably a year and a half ago, but that was my go-to line for a while because it had Ayurvedic herbs in it, and unfortunately, I'm sorry that she did. So I'll take a look at it again because I have been recommending her stuff to other people, but I'm gonna take a look before I do it. So thank you, Janine. Okay. By your evening, I'm signing off. Okay. Bye, Sassy. Shea Moisture, Jamaican Castor. Okay, has hydrolyzed rice, hydrolyzed vegetable, and hydrolyzed keratin. So yes, Z baby, then that is considered a protein moisturizer or a protein treatment. So anyone who's looking for a shampoo that has proteins in it, Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil one has it. Okay, I've been using Apogee for nearly 4 years. This is fantastic. Just follow up with a moisturizing conditioner. Yes, perfectly. Bless says, thanks, Michelle. Water and glycerin butters. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, everyone. Hey, T. I'm sorry. I'm actually about to sign off. I'm just trying to make sure there's anything I'm not missing. So, sorry. Let's see. Thanks for the sale. Is your hair products available on eBay? No, they're not available on eBay. Right now, they're just on my store that I have. Hello, greetings from Paris. Thank you, Brenda Bell. I did post a link. Okay, T says I have high porosity, thin strands hair, and I use protein treatments once every 6 months. I was thinking of trying Moe hair mask. What do you think of that? I don't know, but if it does contain hydrolyzed proteins, I would say go for it. Also, I recommend that you probably do protein treatments a little more frequently because you have high porosity and thin strands. I would move that up to once every 6 to 8 weeks. And I would definitely try it with your Moisture Maui hair mask. And as long as the hair mask has anything that says hydrolyzed, either hydrolyzed collagen, hydrolyzed silk, hydrolyzed soy protein, that's perfect to use as a protein treatment. So definitely try that. Hi, baby. All right. Michelle is about to sign off. I'm sorry, you guys. I never leave you guys hanging like this. Hello, Margarita. She says, ciao. Hello, dear. Hello from Paris. Hey, Lily. Um, she says, hello, Siobhan. She says, hi, I'm new to your live, but I do follow you and love what you're doing. Thank you so much. Hello, Marco. Bernabelle says, don't sleep on Haitian castor oil. I think it's better than Jamaican. I'm biased because I'm Haitian. Girl, send me some Haitian castor oil. If you love me, send me Haitian castor oil. I really, really want some. Everybody keeps telling me about it, and I seriously am like, oh my God. Blessed that I don't use Instagram, send on Facebook, please, need stuff. I have a Facebook page. It's all NowIamNappy. So if you want to DM me on there, you can definitely chat with me. Oh, thanks, Nika. She said B12 because I couldn't remember what the other anemia was. Gertrude said, I don't know which type. I don't have blood. Gertrude, your doctor should definitely tell you which type of anemia you have. Don't let him not tell you. You need to know for sure, so you need to know how to treat it. You need to know what vitamins or pills you should be taking. I take an herbal iron, a Gaia herbs. It's in my Amazon store. Gaia herbs. I'm gonna drop that in the chat for you real quick, and then I'm signing off. I know I said that like 500 times, but like, you guys, I love you guys so much, and I'm really trying to help you guys as much as possible before I like log off. But if you have iron anemia, I love that herb. And Bernadette is so right. Slow release iron, otherwise you'll be constipated and it's a hot mess. Liquid iron also goes directly into your bloodstream. Definitely try that out. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm so sorry, but I love you guys. Thank you. I will definitely check the chat when I log back in at some point. But I'm I gotta go, y'all. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for everything. Appreciate y'all. Nika just says it's been way past the time. Definitely check if you guys are on and you have questions about protein treatments. I answered a lot of them in the beginning of the chat. So go sign back on and rewatch that, and hopefully you guys will get your questions answered. If not, I will try to answer them later. So I'll see you guys. So thank you for joining me. Bye.